We are in Atlanta at the Vintage headquarters. It is Friday, Halloween. Brian, what's going on? I'm gonna give you some behind the scenes here, showing you all the magic that is happening. And we're gonna start over here and show you how we do it. And we've got some great updates today, including from Mary, if you've been following along, her midnight blue truck. We'll get to that here in a minute. I'm actually going to go all the way to the beginning here so you can see how we pull off what it is we do every day. And I got my Halloween costume on today. I got my black gloves. You should see the rest of the costume. No, I'm kidding. All right, so let's actually start with the very beginning. I'm going to walk you over here and show you how we take a modern car chassis and transform it through this process, and talk to some of the people along the way and get some insider information on what it is they do, how they do it, what they're working on. And here's Leslie over here. Happy Friday, Leslie. Happy Halloween. What you working on?
I'm just prepping for tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
For Monday.
Okay, so you're ahead.
I'm ahead.
Wow, look at you. It looks like you're painting nails. What are you painting there?
No, just grease so that when we do the fins,
Uh-huh.
they're all smooth and nice for your AC.
Gotcha. You have that process down?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah?
for sure.
Excellent, excellent.
Back of my hand, I got it.
There we go. Keep up the good work. You're ahead. Good for you. We got Jordan over here. What's going on, Jordan? How are you?
I'm alright.
Good. What you working on?
I am putting together the connector for the center brake light.
Okay. The Chimsel.
Yes.
Gotcha. Is this going on the Raven Black?
No, this is for Monday. This is on the boxwood green.
Okay. Got it. Are we on schedule?
Yep, I am actually ahead of schedule. Actually.
Ahead of schedule. You guys are showing off.
Well, I try to stay ahead just because I don't want to get too far behind and then slow down production.
There we go.
So I'm trying to stay ahead so that way everybody else has what they need.
Gotcha.
And then also in case anything happens and I have to be out, nobody really has to worry about it. Everybody can continue what they're doing.
There we go. Team player, man. Good job, Jordan. Appreciate it, man.
Yep, no problem.
I love that. Two of our people ahead of schedule. Ken, how you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
What you working on?
Doing the switches, the door switches right now.
Okay.
Probably modifying them, you know, sometimes they have like slack in it,
Uh-huh.
trying to be loose. So pretty much putting the shim in them so it can have a firm. When you let the window up and down, it can
Gotcha.
be firm, no wiggle in the door handle
Nice.
or in the window handle. Pretty
Nice.
much. So
Is that for a build on the line, or is that just when
Yeah.
you're prepping?
no, it's I'm actually prepping ahead. So I already finished one, pretty much
Okay.
like he
You're
said.
ahead?
Ahead.
Man, you guys are
That's
killing
the best
it.
way to be, man.
Yeah.
You know, so if anything was to happen, you know, if they need me to go do something or rework,
Yeah.
I have the time to go ahead and do it. So I'm already ahead, so I can go help them come back to doing what I'm doing.
Impressive, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, you guys make me so proud. Ahead of schedule, nobody does that.
Yeah, that's
I
the
love
best
it.
way to be, man.
I love
I'd rather be ahead than, you know, and it's pretty much being ahead, it helps you work better.
Yeah.
So you're not working at the rush pace, you know, everything is pretty much on the pace. It limits the mess ups, you know, anything messing up because you're working at a steady pace. So
Yep.
that's how I try to do it. You
Got
feel
it.
rush, you know, that could cause you to try to mess up or anything. So pretty much to stay ahead, so refuse from making any mistakes, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Any plans for Halloween?
Just take my son trick or treating,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
How old is your son?
He's 2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna be a race car driver.
Okay. Race car driver. All right. Hey, if you could pick any color at all for your truck, what would you pick?
You know the truck that you built that time that it looked like it's purple and black? What's
Amethyst black.
Yeah, I love that
That's the
color.
one.
That's my
Beautiful.
favorite color.
All right.
When I seen that truck, I was like, man, I wish I could take that home.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
that's
Keep
my
up the good
favorite.
work, man. Great job. Ahead of schedule. Happy Halloween to you and your son.
Happy Halloween
And
to you,
you
too.
guys enjoy. We'll see you Monday, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow. That's impressive. And this is a surprise to me. I know that we're on time, but to be ahead, those guys are just showing off. And that was just completely unscripted. We're going to check out here. This is a chassis upfitting station. You can get a real good look at our Fox coilover suspension, which is an upgrade. And our clients, they really are not hardcore off-roaders, you could off-road this truck easily if you wanted to. It's got more than enough muscle, and it has 33-inch tires. If you really want a nice ride, we partner with Fox on these coilover 2.5 race series, and they do such a great job. The ride itself is adjustable, and I'm going to show you after I clip my mic back on here. You could adjust this right there if you wanted to make it harder or softer. And because most of our clients don't off-road, they want it optimized for road, pavement, freeway driving. And the way it drives with the upgraded Fox suspension is big difference. And so we've really transformed it into a luxury vehicle. I mean, you can drive it every day, and it's not going to beat you up like a old car, and it really makes a huge difference. So one of our most popular upgrades is definitely the Fox suspension. And you can see over here, another really popular upgrade is going to be our Roush performance package. And so we partner with best-in-class companies like Fox, like Roush, to give you the absolute best. And these guys do a really great job. Intake, exhaust, tune, and it gives you a real nice sound. It's not too loud or overbearing. I'm a guy, I like a good, nice sounding exhaust note. My wife prefers it quiet, and I think that this setup gives you really the best of both worlds. So here we are, chassis upfitting, and when we are done with the chassis upfitting, it gets quality checked. If it's perfect, it moves on, and I'm going to take you back here to our drop the mic here. I'm going to take you back here to our body prep station. And as you know, these are brand new steel body panels. There's no rust. You have no imperfections in terms of like old steel that's 60 years old. We don't have to like cut things out and weld them. And we stamped all of these in the US, in Detroit, and I think that surprises a lot of people because it would have been way cheaper had we done it in Taiwan or China. But number one, we wanted quality. Number two, we wanted it to be made in America. And number three, we want to control our own supply chain. So not having to worry about doing that overseas, plus tariffs, all that stuff, things we don't have to worry about. And so the other benefit of having our own tooling, and we own the molds that stamp these classic-inspired body panels, and therefore, if our customers ever get in an accident, they need new panels, we're not having to go fabricate them from scratch or order them from overseas. We own these, and they're ours. You cannot fit this on an old classic car, and the reason why is because our setup is wider and longer, and therefore our modern classic truck is bigger. And in 2025, if you look at the old cars and the evolution of classic cars to modern day, you'll see wheelbase longer, wider, bigger, safer. And therefore, these panels, brand new. And then the other thing you get are your perfect body lines and gaps. We talk about it all the time because it drives me nuts when I look at a car of any price point, but especially at $200,000, $300,000, and you get real close to it, and you're like, wow, how is gap and flush and body lines, that off? And for us, this is a piece of art that you can drive. And so we want it to look like a piece of art. We want it to be drivable, reliable, and safe, but it's something that, we really take a lot of pride in. These guys, they really do an excellent job, and they look at all the details, use gap gauges. There's a spec for every single line, and then the quality check here, same as every other station. You can actually see it right here. He's putting it in right there, checking it out. How's it look?
Pretty good.
Pretty good or perfect?
She's coming along.
Excellent. All right. How many millimeters?
5 millimeters. In
5?
between hinges and slot out.
Okay.
Cut outs for the door.
5 millimeters, great. How about for the where the lines meet with the door?
We are shooting for it to be 6 millimeters. 5 millimeters.
Okay.
But because of imperfection on the fender,
Yep.
we do the best we can. If you see here, we are at 5, which is where we're supposed to be. But out here, we expand out to 6.
Got it. Okay, so we got some work to do then.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
but that's part of it.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. Happy Halloween, by the way.
Thank you, and likewise.
Yeah, any plans?
Nah.
No?
No. Well, other than work at home and work on the bike,
Yeah.
nothing outside of that.
You're not going to go trick-or-treating?
No.
All right, man. Well, have a good weekend.
Appreciate you, and
Yeah.
likewise.
Hey, appreciate you too. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. That's Gabriel, one of our metal work guys. Really excellent team working behind the scenes. And these guys, a lot of times, they don't really get a lot of the credit because all you see is a finished vehicle. And I think everybody kind of underestimates one of the hardest steps in the process, which is all of the things you can't see. So all the metal work, all done here in the U.S., here in Atlanta. We have 2 facilities, and this is just a prep station. So this is not even the body work. Where they actually do the body work, it is hundreds of hours to get it perfect, prepped, and then we paint it, and we give you a show quality paint job. And then same thing at every station, all of it's quality checked, and if it is not perfect, it is not moving forward. All right, so here is prep station, and then I'm gonna swing over here and show you. Here's some more body panels here, by the way, and I don't know if that sound can pick up on the mic or not, but the sound of real American-made steel compared to aluminum or fiberglass or plastic is night and day. And so you watch the ASMR videos, we knock on that on purpose, right? We knock on that so you know that this is not like some replicated thing out of a cheap material. It is every bit of American-made steel, and when you open and shut the doors, you can feel the weight and the thickness and the sound. I'm going to open the door here on this boxwood green one, and you know, I guess you can say we geek out over this stuff, right? We love it, and as a car obsessed person, these are the types of things that we think about. Just hearing that sound and feeling that weight, you can imagine what that's like touching this every time. And I think that today, when you have cars that are made overseas, lines aren't good, plastic materials, this is actually billet aluminum and then sent to Detroit to be chrome. It really gives you an idea of how solid the vehicle is. And to do a size comparison, we'd have to pull it next to like a G-Wagon or Range Rover, and it's a big truck. But what you get for that is way more stable of ride quality, wider track width, longer wheelbase, modern geometry, modern suspension, and then you get the best of both worlds. And we keep having to tell people, I mean, we literally spell it out in every single post we make on every single platform. This is not a restoration. And that's something we want people to know, because we used to build restoration and they looked really, really nice. And we built really, really nice ones. In fact, I still believe that our restorations and restomods that are on the resale market, they always sell for a premium over non-vintage brand builds, because people know our brand, people know the quality. And even though they don't have the modern safety features and the longer geometry and the wider track width, they are still beautiful pieces of art, and it was truly the best you could get at the time. And so in terms of this one right here, this is GT Silver, which is a Porsche Carrera GT color. So if you're a big car person, you know what kind of car that is. They don't make that anymore, but this paint color is absolutely stunning. And I've seen GT Silver done in black trim, in chrome trim, stripes, no stripes. There's one for sale right now at Post Oak Motor Cars in Houston. They're a Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Bugatti, Lotus dealer in Houston, Texas. They have a GT Silver in stock, ready to ship. If you want something immediately and you're in Houston, you're in Texas, or anywhere in that area, and you want something this weekend, you could pick that up now and you don't have to wait. The color inside, I think, is white. But just go to Post Oak Motor Cars, check them out. They're a great partner of ours. They do a fantastic job, super high-end dealer. And you know, think about it. They're a Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Bugatti, Lotus dealer. So you can imagine the type of customers that they have and how picky they are. And they always told us when we met that they always wanted to give their customers this product. But when they did their research and they looked into restorations and restomods, they never wanted to associate their name and their brand with something that could break down or their clients wouldn't like. And most importantly of all, it didn't have safety features, right? And so when we met and we told them about our fully modernized classic built on a modern car chassis, and it has airbags and crumple zones and traction control and side impact beams, they were really, really excited to become a partner, and they do an excellent job. Diane, Lonnie, Bryn, they great group. So check them out. Post Oak Motor Cars. This is a client build, but they have a GT Silver in stock ready to ship. They also have a blush pink one too. So if you want pink and you don't want to wait and do a custom build, there you go. Great option, and for sale in stock ready to ship. One of my favorite colors is this one right here. This is tobacco leaf. And I love this color because it's super dark, but look at the distress in it. Feels like an old couch, kind of gives me like man cave vibes, speak easy, kind of like, you know, just really old school, but it's brand new. Doesn't smell bad. It smells really good, actually. It smells like leather. And then you've got this matching Alcantara suede type material that wraps around your entire perimeter. This is a great color combination. So GT Silver, tobacco leaf. You've got your teak wood back here. Really nice touch. And our most popular upgrades would be the teak wood. You gotta have this. I mean, it's just the presentation, right? Like opening up that trunk. A lot of times I feel like builders give up back here because they're like, yeah, it's the back of the car. But to me, every nook and cranny and every crevice of this thing has been well thought through, down to the little details like this leather strap. And then underneath is your hidden cooler. You can throw some ice in there. That's a drain plug down there. And the materials, the fit and finish, and the craftsmanship on all of this is absolute art. I was mentioning the other day, I can't remember which car it is, but if you go out in your garage and you look at the back seat of some of your vehicles, that's just like felt or carpet or something. We just use leather, right? And Alcantara. And we're not shy about the materials because we're not trying to cut any corners on cost. The only downside to that is it's very expensive. But what you get is truly a piece of art. I mean, this whole entire roll bar back here is wrapped in Alcantara. And check that out right there. All of this right here. All of that right there. Billet aluminum. There's hardly any plastic inside of this. And you can see, same here, billet aluminum handles, very heavy. And then beautiful details inside and out. There's your airbag seat mounted right here. There's your front passenger airbag. Here's your side curtain airbag, and this runs all the way up. All the way through there. And if you have rear passengers, they're protected back here. You've got your crumple zones, you have your functional roll bar, and then you've got your side curtain airbags that run all the way back here. And if you have young passengers and they have a need for a booster or car seat, there's a latch system that you can punch right into. And, you know, I bought a lot of cars. I've had over 50. I think I've had nearly 60 now. And I remember that before I bought anything, I'd always run it by my wife. And when we didn't have kids, I would buy 2-seater sports cars because it was just her and I. And I remember as soon as my son was born, it kind of like changed the way I thought about cars. because if I get a fast car two-seater, well then immediately the three of us could never go together, and that's not fun, right? And then when I had my daughter, now we have 4 kids. So what cool cars can you actually have that you would want and desire that can seat 4 people and still be a cool, fun car? And I remember there was a phase there where I was like, I could name off all of those cars, and I bought them specifically because they were cool and they fit 4 people. And so that could be Bentley Continental convertible, right? I'm a convertible guy, can't tell. So that's one. Ferrari FF, that's a 4-seater, 2-door V12 Ferrari. Aston Martin Rapide, sedan, but 4-door, but 4 seats. Porsche 911 has tiny little back seats back there. You can barely fit them, but it counts. And then you start running out. There's more. But those were some of the ones. Ferrari California, tiny back seats, right? But hey, it's better than a 2-seater. And so it shifted the way I thought about the cars I was buying. And so I always thought then, gosh, why don't they have a cool SUV convertible that is a luxury car that I would want to buy and put my kids in? And so that led me to buying a 2-door G-Wagon, a European one. I've had 2 of them, convertible, but it was old and had problems, and it leaked and it broke down. I had to go find a European specialist to work on it. It was really expensive. Every single trip, you're not getting out of there for at least like $3-4 grand, and the car was out of commission for like at least a week or 2, and I hate that. I don't buy cars to pay my mechanic to fix it. And the whole point of buying those cars was that I could actually enjoy it with my kids, my family. So, and then I bought an H1 Hummer, definitely also convertible and big enough, but slow, and same deal. The nearest mechanic that would work on an H1 Hummer was like 45 minutes to an hour away. Also very expensive, took forever to get parts. And so I just said, gosh, I wish one day I could get a truck style, safe, big for the family, but it's convertible, and I could fit 4 people in it. And so I started looking at Jeeps, like a Jeep Wrangler. And in my neighborhood, 16-year-old rich kids drive Jeep Wranglers. And this is actually, I never told this story before. Probably gonna get in trouble for this. I was like, you know what? I do want something fun. My kids are getting older. They're not in car seats anymore. Hey, Jafar, it's incoming inspection over here. I want to come over here and say hi to these guys here in a minute, but let me tell you the story. So I'm thinking about my next car purchase, which I was always buying cars. I bought 2.5 cars a year for the last 20 years, right? Since I was 21. And so I'm thinking, hey, I think I want a Jeep. But then I'm like, everybody has a Jeep. And a lot of the people that have Jeeps are 16-year-old kids in my neighborhood. And so that's what actually led me to my first old Bronco. And I was like, gosh, as I started looking, I thought, okay, I like the way the old Bronco looks better than the new Jeep. But I wish that the old Bronco had like new Jeep technology and new Jeep, safety features and new Jeep ride quality and reliability, because what happened was I started looking at old Broncos online, and I'm sure you've done the same. If you're watching this and you've ever considered buying a classic car, you've probably gone through the same thing, and this is exactly what I was thinking. I would Google, I'd find them, and the pictures, they always look good, right? Pictures of cars are like pictures of hotels online. You ever go on Expedia or hotels.com or whatever, and then every hotel looks fantastic, right? And then you get there, and you're like, whoa, what happened? And with cars, it's even worse, because someone has that car, and they probably had all these problems, and they probably had it in the shop, and they probably spent a ton of money, and they were ready to move on. And now you're the next victim. And that's what happened to me as I looked at these old Broncos, and these are not old Broncos, these are 2025 modern chassis. And I would look at them and I'd be like, I don't know. Like, what if I get it home and it's got a lot of problems? And so sure enough, and I'll actually show you one of my early first old Ford Broncos over here, and my nightmare came true. Always trust your instincts, by the way. And by then I had bought a lot of cars, so I'd already had probably 40-ish cars. And so I had a feeling that it was like lipstick on a pig. And I hate to say that, but that's just, you know, a very common term in restoration and classic car industry, is that you might have this like kind of good from far, but far from good situation, right? And this is a 1969 Ford Bronco. And I remember the description. I bought it from a guy in Tennessee. That's why it's orange, I think. And it was like fully restored, frame off restoration, no detail overlooked, no cost, no expense spared. And then I called them and, you know, they told me all these things. I had never restored a car before. I don't know. I'd only bought new cars. I'm not a mechanic. And so I get it home, and I swear to you, I was just immediately disappointed because the pictures looked better than it was. In my head, it was going to be better than it was. They told me that it was fully restored, and I didn't even actually touch this thing. If you look underneath, you're going to be like, by who? You know? And what is your definition of restored? And it drove as bad as the cosmetic issues were, and there was rust. I mean, you can even see the rust. Like, I never bothered restoring this, and or trying to restore it, and I just kept it, and I drove it rarely. And anytime I drove it, it was like a 50% success rate of getting home. And I wasn't even driving it far. I knew I could only take it down the street, and my wife's on standby. I've got Uber in case I break down. And those are things that I think today we're all too spoiled by. And so it's one of those things that, you know, if you're going to go after a restoration, and if that's what you want, more power to you, just make sure you do your research. You have to understand who built the truck, what actually was done, and you should get a third-party inspection, because if you're not a mechanic, never mind how it looks. If you're not a mechanic, then you better know that all the mechanical stuff, transmission, engine, drivetrain, all that, it actually works. And this thing leaked, and it smelled bad, and it left me stranded, and it drove bad, and I just kind of set it aside. And I hate that, because I didn't grow up with any money, so me buying things, and this was not cheap, buy an old car and just have it sit there, or worse yet, pay someone to fix it all the time, I'm good, man. I didn't want that, you know. And if that's for you, then more power to you, because my mechanic was very happy, because I had several old cars. Old Broncos, old Defenders, old Land Cruisers, and I kept that guy in business. And it wasn't until I got into restoration that I really understood. I mean, look at the gap here. Check this out. This right here, you can't barely put your finger in there, right? And then look at the, can you see that right there? How it's curved, and then this sticks out more than that, and that's chipping, that's rust right there. Now follow this line and see what happens. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Look at this, my finger is now in there. And as I slide it forward, it gets smaller and smaller. I can't put it in there. Well, what about over here? Well, hey, here's why. Over here, and you can see that line right there. And this right here, unfortunately, and I'm not saying every builder is like this, the good ones are few and far between. And I think it's like everything else, right? You got your 99% of people, and you got your 1%. If you can find that 1%, you really know how to do your due diligence, and you get a third-party inspector and all that stuff, and it checks out, great. But for the most part, restoration is a very loose term. And the pictures that you see online, they all look good because it's a good-looking car. And that was the thing. Like, I bought so many of these, and I was like, surely this next one's going to be better than the last one. I'm like, God, again? And it got to a point where I was like, you know what? We're going to build these. And we're going to build them nice, because all the cars I have are really nice. And I don't mind spending money, but I don't want this, and I certainly don't want to break down and have issues. And that right there, that's the history of how we got there. I haven't told that story in a long time. The real thing that got me on it was my kids. I wanted something cool and fun that could fit my family, and I thought about getting a Jeep Wrangler, and I quickly decided, everyone's got one of those. Bought an old Bronco thinking it was going to be better than it was, and that was a journey. It broke down, had so many problems that I got into the business because I was like, you know what, it's got to be a better way. Now, my history behind that, entrepreneur, done a bunch of startups. I know the startup game, and I just sold one of my companies. I was retired, and I had time on my hands. So luckily, if that old Bronco that I bought didn't have all those problems, vintage would not exist today. So I'm grateful for that. And then, after doing restoration, we decided that there was a better way. And that better way is this Restomod right here, modern restoration. This is a beautiful truck, by the way, cobalt blue. It's a manual transmission, new drivetrain, new body, and at the time, this was as good as you can get. And we came late. We came late to the market. Other builders were already building, and initially they made fun of us. They're like, oh, some rich guy is doing this. He doesn't know what he's doing and all this stuff. I could go pull the forum comments for you and show you. I saved them because that made me mad. And I was like, okay, well, we might be new to this, but I can tell you with the kind of passion and the kind of relentlessness and the problem solving and the forward thinking, right? And I think this is a big difference. I didn't come from automotive. And that's probably a really, really key factor in this, because in any industry, when you're really close to it, you're looking for incremental gain. And I came in from technology and I was like, that's not going to work. And this was as good as it got. So we got in the business of Restomod and we did all of this work here in this building, built supply chain, built a team, built process, and we kept asking how we could make it better. And so the Restomods that we built were really, really nice. Arguably, and the market data, if you go look at the data of resales of Restomods, if it says vintage on it, you will find almost every time the value of that truck is more to the buyers out there on the market, because they know vintage and they know, you know, the quality craftsmanship, because we put it all over social media every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for like 7 years. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of impressions. And in doing so, not only did the company really, really become very well known globally, in addition to that, we attracted great people, because people were like, wow, I would kill to work there. And when that started happening, I was like, wow, this is cool. Our fans want to either buy the car from us or they want to work here. That blew my mind. I never expected that at all. And I've had great companies and great people and great product. But when you have a brand, you don't have people that know about your company, you have fans. And when you have fans, your fans become your customers, those who can afford it. And your fans, they end up just cheering you on, or they're coming to work for you. And I don't even call it working for me, because people that are here, they don't work for me. They're on the team and they're players. And through the years, as we got all that feedback and we learned and grew and made tons of mistakes and just got better and better and better, it was very clear to us that the next stage and the next evolution wasn't to continue to try to make that Restomod better. And we did the best we could. There's limitations. We knew what our customers wanted. And what they told us is that they wanted a modern car chassis. They didn't say that, but they told us. What I mean by that is they didn't know to do this. We knew to do this. They said, Cho, beautiful car, beautiful fit and finish, great craftsmanship, love the brand, love the details, love the colors, and the service is excellent, especially for a Restomod company. We warranted those Restomods better than a new Lamborghini, better than a new Ferrari or Aston Martin or Bentley. And I'll tell you about the service and how we handle warranty. But can you make it drive like my G-Wagon or Range Rover? And by the way, can you make it more luxurious? Can you give me all the modern creature comforts? And then when we built the pink one, not this one, but I'll just show it to you since we're here. When we built the very first blush pink one, and there's a blush pink one for sale at Post Oak Motor Cars in Houston right now, ready to ship. So you want to surprise your wife, you got in trouble, you did something wrong, you forgot her birthday or anniversary, save yourself and go get that before it's gone. Blush pink, Post Oak Motor Cars. Okay, we built the first blush pink one. Something really funny happened. This was Vanessa in Texas. If you're watching, you started this trend. I remember, she said, I want a pink one. At the time I was like, I would love to build you a pink one. And so we picked a classic pink. It was a little bit lighter than this, blush pink. Actually, it's called Playboy pink. We didn't come up with a name. And when we posted that on Instagram, it went so viral that the demographic of leads shifted from men. Like 95% of our leads and call-ins were men saying, hey, I want a truck. After we posted that pink one, it was either women inquiring or it was men saying, my wife wants one. And I thought that was really funny. But what I didn't think was funny was, okay, well, how are you going to use it? Well, you know, she's got a G-Wagon, a Range Rover, whatever, Escalade. But, you know, she really loves your post. She sent me your Instagram post. And I was like, okay, well, you know, how's she going to drive it? Well, you know, probably to school, carpool, you know, lunch, country club, go play tennis, shopping, whatever. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, so women with kids, they're going to want to drive the car. And I can tell you, after the pink one, we built a lavender one and that went viral. And then we went into really rare feminine colors that the big car manufacturers don't do, which is crazy to me, by the way. They should. And all of a sudden, our following online shifted from men primarily to women, and it went global too. And so what that signaled was, this wasn't just like this kind of like niche, rare collector car, purist, enthusiast, you know, person. It was mainstream. But here's the problem. Even though we were building the nicest Restomod, modern restoration, not an old traditional restoration, I knew that if you're female and you have kids and you're used to driving a Range Rover or a G-Wagon or an Escalade, this is going to be very different than what you're used to. And I knew it. And I knew it because my wife drove, I think she drove this once and she was like, never again. She drove my Land Cruiser FJ40s, definitely didn't like that. She drove my Defender, very cool looking car, but just super uncomfortable. I'm pretty sure she broke down in it one time. I had to go get her and she was mad at me for a week. And then, and she drove all my old cars. And so when we evolved to this, it was very clear that compared to an old restoration, Restomod was better. As good as it got, right? And the biggest culprit of any restoration or Restomod, unless they actually change the geometry, is that you got geometry that's not modern. It's not favorable for normal driving. So a narrow track width and a short wheelbase is going to give you a very, whoa, that's different experience. And I knew what the customers wanted, but we couldn't give it to them because you can't make that track width wider and you can't make that wheelbase longer, and you can only do so much. We did everything. I mean, we pushed the envelope and we constantly went to our engineers and we constantly said, you've got to make it drive better. And they would say, this is as good as it gets. And I was like, I refuse to accept that as an answer. And so, so we recruited Bob Nardelli to our board, former CEO of Chrysler. And I come to him and I'm like, hey, these are beautiful cars, but I think if we're gonna elevate our brand and give the customers what they really want, we need to build them a more modern vehicle that drives like their G-Wagon or Range Rover. It has all the modern technology. And the number one thing, it has to have safety features. And through lots and lots of research and debate, where we landed was an epiphany. Everything that the customers, our clients, are giving us feedback on is that they actually don't want an old classic car. They just want it to look classic. And they would absolutely take modern car driving experience, reliability, technology, and by far, number one, safety over an all original, numbers matching, you know, true classic. Because you're gonna have to make a compromise. If you want that, you're gonna have the compromises that the 1960s engineering and design came with. But if you are our customer and you're used to a really reliable vehicle that drives really, really nice and it doesn't have any problems, and you have all the luxury and the technology and the safety features, you're going to want this. And so what we realized was, let's not make or try to make an old car more modern. What they really want is a modern car that looks vintage. And so we went through an 18-month-long process. It was very, very expensive and very, very challenging. No one had ever done it at this level and scale. And we knew what we had to do. And we took a modern chassis that already has a longer wheelbase, 100.4 inches, instead of 92 like that right there. And it had a wider track width, and it had independent front suspension, and it had all the modern technology of a normal 2025 vehicle and the reliability of a normal 2025 vehicle. And the biggest difference was going to be the safety features: crumple zones, traction control, anti-lock brakes, side impact beams, functional roll bar, backup camera, parking sensors, stability control, roll sensor, pre-collision assist. I can go on and on. And these are the things you don't think about, nor do you want to think about. Because if you're using them, it's bad, right? Something went wrong. But you want it there, especially if you're gonna drive it, especially if your wife's gonna drive it, especially if your kids are gonna be in the car. And that's what led us to go from this modern car chassis transformed into this modern classic. And therefore, with the sheet metal I showed you, the classic inspired panels, brand new Detroit American-made steel, craftsmanship that would challenge any premium builder on the market, OEM or otherwise. Perfect lines, perfect gaps, show quality paint job, and then the luxury is over the top. Because when we designed the car, one of our clients' top pieces of feedback was that they're used to a Bentley, a Rolls, an AMG, a Range Rover, a Bentayga, a Urus. We knew what they were driving. And we were like, hey, this thing can't just be as nice. Let's just make it nicer. And today, when we deliver a modern classic to our customer, we hear the same feedback over and over. Number one, better than expected, which is amazing. How often do you buy anything, whether it's $10 or $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 or $200,000, and you can say, better than expected? I love that. Number two, the fit and finish and the craftsmanship and the details are next level. I love that because that is what we obsess over. So when people tell you, unprompted, what it is they love about the car, and it's what you work so hard to deliver on, love that. The way it drives, absolutely exactly as described. Modern steering, modern suspension, especially if you upgrade to the Fox factory suspension. And the coolest part is what they say about the experience. And it doesn't matter what you drive. If you drive this around town, because it is so rare and it's so different and unique, you'll be really surprised at the reactions you get. And they're really positive, right? I've had 4 or 5 Lamborghinis, 4 or 5 Ferraris, McLarens, and I always thought I was really cool driving those cars. And what I noticed was there's 2 reactions. Either people are like, oh my God, what a cool car, or they're like, rich asshole. And I wasn't, but that, that's just that. I came from nothing, but it didn't matter. You drive a yellow Lamborghini and you're gonna put out a certain vibe. But you pull up in this, and the reactions you get will blow your mind. People love this. And by the way, because we have nearly 100 million views a month globally on our social media channels, people know this brand, they know this vehicle, they've seen the viral reels, they've probably seen your car on a reel. And when you drive it, people will come up to you and just go, wow, that is fucking gorgeous. I'm sorry about the language. Hopefully my kids aren't watching. It is an absolute piece of art. And people want to ask you questions about it. They want to take pictures and they want video, and you just feel like an absolute rock star. But it's a different kind of attraction than you get in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. And if you live in Miami or LA, or you ever go there, those things are everywhere. My son calls a Lamborghini Urus a Miami Mazda because they're everywhere. Every influencer selling a course has a Lamborghini Urus in Miami. And which is why I'm selling a course now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not selling a course. Which is why you want something that says something about you. And I think this is why I've always loved cars. And remember, I grew up with nothing. I was the son of immigrant parents who had nothing fancy, grew up poor, and we never had cool cars at all. And my first car, let me see what my first car is, 1988 Chevy Corsica. Go look it up. It was white and had a red velvet interior and had a big dent in the side. And if you look at the my supercar interview I did with Post Oak Motor Cars, they pulled up a picture, and it was actually the same car. I don't even know how they got that. And it was embarrassing. And I vowed to myself, when I make it, I'm going to get myself cars. And I busted my ass, and I was very, very fortunate. I got into sales. I was really good at it. That's what people tell me. And learned how to sell and worked my butt off, made money immediately. Boom, bought a Porsche. Stupid, I know, but I did it. And that was the beginning, right? And since I was 21 years old, I've had over 50 cars. So I know cars really, really well. But I wasn't a mechanic. That's the difference. I wasn't buying them to fix them. Fixing the car was the last thing I wanted to do. I just worked 80 hours a week to make money to go buy a Porsche. The last thing I want to do is go spend time now to go fix it. And when you can afford a car that costs $250,000, my guess is you're probably not wanting to fix it. And that is why a restoration or even a resto mod, which was as good as you can get a few years ago, until we released this model in 2024, there wasn't truly a fully modernized classic. And that's really the story. And I can tell you, we constantly obsess over the details, because this isn't just a hobby for us or a thing we do for fun. This is the beginning of a whole different type of vehicle that never actually existed until we started building them. Restorations and resto mods have existed, but a fully modernized classic inspired, but actually modern technology, actual modern safety and luxury that would make your G-Wagon jealous, it's an industry first. And as the word gets out, more and more, thanks to everybody on social media, it's very, very clear. In technology, we call it product market fit. And I've chased technology. I was in tech before I got into automotive. And you're always on the hunt for what you hope is product market fit. All that means is what you build is what the world and your customers and the audience wants. And we're in the app business. That is, there's lots of apps that nobody ever needed, wanted, and they fail. You know, I built lots of apps. I built 2 top 100 apps in the App Store. And at the end of the day, the ones that are successful have one simple thing in common. They solved a problem, and people actually wanted it, right? Uber, before there was Uber, people took cabs. Airbnb, you used to only get a hotel. Instacart, Postmates, Grubhub, right? Food delivery, big deal right now, right? You push a button, get whatever you want. And so for us, the product market fit has allowed us to really blow up as a business, and the social media marketing major advantage too. But at the end of the day, what we're doing here is really an amazing thing, because we're actually giving people what they wanted. And one of the things that always pained me was to build a vehicle not due to craftsmanship, not due to anything other than the limitations of what that vehicle could do, falling short of their expectations. I hate that. And when you think about that story and where it came from and the customer feedback and my background and how, why I built the car in the first place is because I experienced the same thing. And so doing restoration and finding out that it wasn't going to check the box for our customers, and then evolving to Restomod, and then finding out that it wasn't going to check all the boxes is what led us to a fully modernized classic. And these guys right here, Sharon, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing today?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
It's Friday.
It is.
Are you going to dress up for Halloween?
I don't think
You're going to be an inspector for vintage?
Yeah.
All right,
I
all right.
think that's my cousin right
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Well, you do a great job of it. So
Thank you.
this one right here is the Raven Black we showed you yesterday. Beautiful truck. Look at the color combination. This is sick. Cognac interior, black trim. That's why I got the black gloves on. No, it's coincidence. Black wheels, satin black, but you have chrome trim. I love this color combination. We got Brian over here, Picasso with a paintbrush.
going?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good, sir. How about you? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Any big plans?
Probably just gonna hand out some candy tonight.
Yeah?
I think I'm getting a little old for trick or treating.
You are? Yeah?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Do you have kids that come to you for Halloween? In your neighborhood?
We just got a brand new neighborhood. It
Oh, yeah?
was built about like 2 years ago.
Okay,
So we
okay.
we got a few here and there that are still new. So it's
Awesome.
it's a growing community. So
Okay.
hopefully a little bit more this year.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So Raven Black, tough color, right?
It's very unforgiving. So
Yeah?
very unforgiving.
Yeah.
But once it shines up, I mean, it's one of the best colors. It's
Yeah.
honestly one of my favorites. I love this color. I mean, it's so simple, but at the same time, it's so unique.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful with the cognac interior, like you were saying. It's gorgeous. I love this color combination.
It's the first time we've done Raven Black with cognac, and it
Really?
is- yeah, yeah.
It looks amazing.
It
I
really
love it.
does
I
look
love
good.
it.
And it's actually for sale, too.
Really?
Yeah, this is going to Post Oak Motor Cars in Houston, our Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Bugatti, Lotus dealer, and it's for sale.
Well, I might be in Houston this weekend.
There we go. Yeah, it is gorgeous. And I love the spec, too. The black wheels,
Absolutely.
but chrome trim. Somebody did a great job specking this. Someone's going to be
Absolutely.
really, really happy with this. So Raven Black. And the colors show, depending on the colors, a whole lot of different imperfections. And therefore, what you see here is two types of light. Brian, can you tell us about the two types of light here? There's white light and then you got this like yellow light. What's the deal with that?
Absolutely. The yellow light, it's supposed to replicate the sun. So whenever you drive this out of the facility, you're going to see everything that the sun would show in the daytime. Now, the white lights, on the other hand, that's more for us. These are facility lights. They show a lot more imperfections, but not as much as the sun. Warmer lights show more imperfections, and lights like this, they kind of illuminate the entire surface so we can see.
Yeah.
See what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Excellent. Well, how close are you guys to finishing up?
we are wrapping up right now with the cleaning phase. So we are probably about an hour and a half through.
Okay.
We should be done very shortly. I mean, this thing is looking great. So.
Great, great, great. I love seeing you with a paintbrush. It's the funniest thing to me, that tiny little
Picasso.
paintbrush.
I love this thing. I mean, this thing really, it's got some miles on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just to get in these small cracks and crevices, you kind of need something a little thin. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's best friend right here.
Okay, and then you got final inspection coming up.
Yes, sir. Another zero.
You think?
Another zero.
If you can do it on Raven Black, man, that'd be impressive.
Make the impossible possible, sir.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, yeah. Well, congratulations to you and the team. You guys killed it this month, getting the how many perfect scores?
2 this week,
Uh-huh.
3 this month.
Wow, that's impressive, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed your steak too, by the way.
absolutely.
Did you get a ribeye or did you get a
Got a
fillet?
ribeye.
You
Yes,
did.
sir. I got the same
Hell
thing
yeah.
as John.
Oh, you did?
It was delicious.
Okay, good. You deserve
great
it.
time.
You
Great
guys
time
deserve
last
it.
night, so thank you so much.
Keep up the good work, man.
It means a lot. Man.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.
Yeah. And I mentioned it before, but final detail is one of the hardest stations. And the reason why is because this is one of the last steps. It is one of the last steps before we ship. I'm just going to take my glove off here. Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. It's hard to do this with 2 gloves on. Imagine trying to touch your phone. All right. One of the most difficult stations. And the reason why is because everyone has taken their turn. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of labor, start to finish. And even though we've already had inspections at every single station for every step and a very robust process from that tunnel all the way to here, and 3 or 4 guys spending the entire day doing final detail, it's one of the hardest stations because right after this is our final inspection. And that final inspection is no joke because once again, we will then go through everything mechanically, cosmetically, inside, outside, and the only acceptable way that this truck leaves this building is if it's 100% perfect. And so it's not that the other stations aren't hard, they're all hard. It's always hard to do it perfect. That station in particular is the final step. And that is where our leads from production, engineering, quality, operations, management, and myself, I personally got on my hands and knees and inspected every one of these trucks at first. And I did it because I wanted to make sure that the standard was going to be met, A. B, I wanted to show the team that I wasn't sitting in my office with my feet kicked up on my desk while they worked. We spent nights, weekends, midnight, like past midnight, and it didn't matter what we had to do. We were establishing process and culture. And along the way, the right people not only understood what the mission was, they were drawn to it. The wrong people are like, what? You gotta stay late? No, you gotta work weekends? No, you're after perfection? Not interested. The right people are drawn to it. And we built a phenomenal team. And I don't even remember most of it because I've poured so much into it, but it was the same message all along the way. We never let off what our goal was. It was perfection. It was perfect or nothing. And these guys, they deserve so much credit because the bar never changed, and the only difference was they just kept doing it till they couldn't get it wrong, and then create process to allow you to keep repeating it and winning. And here we are. Mary, you've been waiting patiently on this live. I hope you stay tuned. I'm sorry I did it at the very end here, but if you're watching, yesterday Mary's truck didn't even have an interior in it. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago? Anyway, here it is. And it is in the 3rd station where we get it ready for road testing. And so it is just about ready. It'll go on the alignment rack over there. We'll tape it all up to make sure it all stays protected. And then it goes out for test miles. And during those test miles, we are very, very rigorous about our test process. It is not a memory-based, feel thing, all documented. And once we go through test miles, we bring it to our inspection station that goes all the way down into final detail and then final inspection, which we just talked about. I'm going to open the door here. I've got one glove on like Michael Jackson, and so I'm going to touch it only with my left hand. And this right here is the ball glove leather interior. This is Alcantara right here. And it's all wrapped up. I hear the comments about single-use plastic. We reuse all of them if we can. But the details on this and the way it smells, I can only tell you it smells like a giant baseball glove or a giant Hermes handbag or something, really, really nice with the stitching and the details to match. And this color combination is phenomenal. So Mary went with a matching midnight blue dash. You can choose body matching or Wimbledon white, changes the whole demeanor of the truck inside. Ball glove for the leather interior. And I want to make sure they don't get a hit on their quality score here, and it'd be my fault. All right, there we go. And power steps, really nice. Listen to the sound of that door. 100% American-made steel. Perfect lines of gaps. The trim is chrome. It's all wrapped up, so we wrap up those really Nice finishes to ensure some mirror shine. Perfect. You got your hinges right here. Vintage stripes. Here's your chrome bumper. Brand new steel. And you can crawl underneath, down here, up there, anywhere. And we've already checked all of it, you know. And it's funny because we had a consultant come in from automotive, and they work with all the big OEMs, and they're like, hey, you're doing a lot of non-value added things. And we're like, okay, well, tell us. And they're like, yeah, nobody's ever gonna see that down there. And they said, well, have you ever had any warranty claims on that? No. And how long does it take? Well, it takes 3 guys 8 hours to make everything perfect, you know, before we ship. And the conclusion was that our standard was excessive and definitely exceeded automotive industry standards. And so after that consultant finished, we kept doing it exactly the same way because our goal is to set our bar above what our clients expect. Therefore, when they get the vehicle, they will be very, very happy with it. And if you read the reviews on Google, those are real people that have our vehicle. And if you ever see one of these in public, you should go up to them, because the people that buy these kinds of cars, they most likely worked their ass off for their money. They appreciate nice things, art, and they're a fan, obviously. And people don't buy this because they don't know we are. You can buy, you know, an old truck or a Restomod anywhere. They buy it from us for a reason. And if you walk up to them and you say, oh my gosh, is that vintage? You will probably have a very nice conversation with them, and you'll be able to ask them. So forget the reviews, although you should read them. They will tell you what it's like to buy a car from us, the fit and finish, and the quality, and the service. And that to me is because we set our standard high, and we go after perfect, which is impossible, because you'd have to literally be 100% perfect 100% of the time, every time. And what we aim for is world class. And if you're 99%, you're world class, which is really hard to do. It sounds like, you know, easy, but anything but. And then to do that repeatedly and at scale, that's where the team gets a big shout out. So Mary, this truck will go into test miles, alignment rack, get wrapped up, go to test miles, and then it'll go through inspection. And so every day this thing moves. So sometime next week, she'll be ready for you. Tan soft top, excellent choice. Chrome trim, so you got the teak wood, excellent choice. And yes, you got the premium stereo. You're gonna love that too, by the way. 10-inch subwoofer hidden in here. And just look at that. It's all in the details. That smells really good too. It's like a mix of leather and wood. And then this right here is weight for the teak wood. It gets checked, quality checked, and then it goes off to test miles. Wimbledon white on the grill, excellent choice. And the vintage stripes too. This is one of my favorite colors. Look at that. Absolute piece of art. Right behind it is a leadfoot gray truck. We haven't done one of these in a while. I'm pretty sure the last leadfoot gray one was shipped out to Aspen, Colorado. And that customer has 2 of them. He bought one for his LA house. Loved it so much. He's like, you know what? I'm spending a lot of time in Colorado too. Can I get another one? So he has 2. There's actually a handful of customers that love it so much that when they're not at their second home or third home, they miss it. And so instead of shipping it back and forth, they just get another one. So leadfoot gray, raven black grill. This one, oh, I love this color combination. Ball glove with leadfoot gray dash black on the roll bar. Somebody really thought this through. And then you got your teak wood. This is a beautiful, beautiful truck. And I'm a huge fan of brown, even with black, even with darker, more modern colors. And this one here is going to have black trim, so I'm pretty sure it'll have black wheels, black handles, black mirrors, and hardware. But even though you have this kind of monochromatic color scheme inside, you've got ball glove leather. Really, really nice. And I love the roll bar black and all the details. When you get the upgraded stereo, Focal audio, you also get a matching custom speaker grill that matches your roll bar. And then there's your subwoofer. Really, really nice. So this is Leadfoot Gray. And by the way, if you want to check out all the colors, go to our website, vintagemodern.co, vintagemodern.co. And you have a link there for a configurator, which will allow you to play with all the different options and colors, 30 paint colors, 12 leather colors, options like body matching grille, Wimbledon white, bright white, silver, a lot of options, roll bar, different colors. You have options of trim, stripes, different types of stripes. We're offering all kinds of different, ways to personalize and customize. And right here, looks like it's going to be boxwood green with Wimbledon white trim. Really nice as well. And this is a custom stripe with orange, an orange stripe. Also very cool. Right here, standard operating procedures. Every single step, the entire process has work instructions detailed out, giving our people a standard. And if you want something now, we also have a Wimbledon white truck that is a fresh build, in stock, ready for immediate delivery. Here's a boxwood green that is wrapping up test miles, and you can see we've got it all taped up here. Similar color scheme to the one on the line, except you can see here it's got a red stripe. Wimbledon white also for the grille, chrome trim, and tan soft top. So this will hit the inspection tunnel in the next few days. It'll be wrapped up and shipped off to her forever home. Here's Seth in production. Seth, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good, Joe. How are you today?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
You going trick-or-treating?
Not tonight.
No?
No, kids are, one of my kids is going to a fall festival tonight with their friends, and
Okay.
then my son just wants to stay at home and watch a movie and eat candy.
Okay.
So we're going to oblige him.
Okay. Okay, your kids are getting older then.
They're
probably.
getting older.
Yeah.
They're growing out of it a little bit, which is kind of sad, but kind of not at the
Yeah.
same time.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Hey, I want to congratulate you and the team on an exceptional month. Record month, highest quality scores, just kicking ass. And we're ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who is ahead in production?
Us. We are.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can keep that trend up.
Oh, yeah, for
we'll,
sure.
I think we're going to be
Definitely,
able
man.
to do that for sure.
Seth runs production. Very, very difficult job to make it perfect and on time. I just want to say congratulations. Keep up the good work, man. You deserve all the credit. You and the team. Amazing job.
Yep.
Okay.
Team definitely gets the credit. So
Absolutely. Proud of you.
You guys killed it this month. for
Absolutely.
Sure. Super proud of them.
For sure. And a shout out to our sales and marketing team. Also, record month of sales. So things are moving here. We have worked our butts off to be able to create repeatability and quality. And I just can't say enough about the people. You can just see the looks on their faces. Like, they work so hard for this. We don't make them do it. We don't force anybody to do it. You can't force people to do this. This is art backed by science. And if you have an eye for detail and a passion for what it is we do, and you love building things, and you want to be challenged, because you'll be challenged. It's not an easy thing. And scored, because it's not a feel or, kind of like, oh, well, it looks pretty good. All of it is measured with a standard, and that standard is perfection. And the biggest asset that we have is our people. And so If you're interested in joining our team, we don't actively really recruit, so there's not really like a lot of job postings because that's kind of the traditional way. You should reach out to us, and it all starts with love. So you have to love it, and you have to really already be a fan, because to me, the one common thing that I love about people here is that they love being here. They love looking at the cars. They love building the cars. They love being around it. And it's just so cool to come into a place where it's a bunch of very serious people. They want to win. They're super focused, but we're having fun too. And winning, by the way, is fun. And being around people who want to win is fun. Being around people who can solve problems and they all care. We're all rowing in the same direction, and they all love it too. It's incredible. And we haven't had a month where we were record-setting sales and production, so we're gonna go out and have a good time and go celebrate that win. But I gotta tell you, it's all the people. And this business is about people, process, and parts, right? And the number one thing, passion. People, process, parts is great. You can build a good car, or maybe sometimes a good car, or a great car here and there. If you really want to do it over and over and over at scale, repeatedly, predictably, on time with perfection, then you have to blend art and science, right? It's the process that allows these guys to win over and over. It's the people who are the foundation. Obviously, you have to have great parts, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Most parts you actually can't buy, you have to build them. But the number one multiplier, in my opinion, is that when you combine art, 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 combine